He comes towards her, and she gets up and he pushes her against this bookshelf. It's like this tall, little kid's bookshelf, and he boom, boom, and she looking at me, and she just screaming, and I'm like,
Former Spruce High School special education teacher Leslie Copeland requested we blur her identity. She reluctantly recounts the traumatic moments from 2 years ago as she watched a 250-pound, 17-year-old male student with a history of violence attack her coworker, 56-year-old Charla Sims.
She was helpless.
it just was, I don't know, you just see her, she's just looking at you, screaming. I couldn't get over there fast enough. You help her? Yeah, it just was awful, and
Copeland says Sims was visibly shaken and needed help getting to the nurse's office and then home. In the room during our interview, hearing the emotional details of the assault for the first time, is Charla Sims' family. Her 2 sons, Jason and Brandon, her sister Sherry, and brother Silas. They say they learned about Sims' injury and hospitalization not from the school, but from a family friend.
When the ambulance was called, they couldn't get into her apartment, so they had to force the door open to get in to get her out.
She was so sick, she couldn't answer the door.
She was so sick and could not feel her legs that she could not get to the door.
They say when they got to the hospital, their mother was in a coma. The doctors said her aorta had ruptured and that her internal bleeding was severe. Monday afternoon, 3 days after the attack, Charla Sims was dead. On January 29th, 1 week after Sims' burial, her death certificate indicated her cause of death was still under investigation. 2 months later, her manner of death was changed to natural causes, aortic dissection. No mention of the assault on Sims, either by the medical examiner or by school officials, who posted an online memorial for her a few days after her death.
And she was very sweet and kind. And what I have known her to be over these 2 years, year and a half, has really been that way. Always has a tremendous smile.
Meanwhile, Copeland returned to the classroom, devastated over Sims' death, but relieved to learn that her attacker had finally been removed from school. Copeland says the student had a history of violent behavior, attacking another teacher once and Sims twice earlier in the school year. According to the lawsuit filed by the family against Dallas ISD, the district was well aware of his violent behavior.
the first time he hit Miss Sims, he kicked her.
The first time.
Because 1, 2, 3, 3 times. Yeah, first time he kicked her. And we asked for a behavior interventionist to come to the school and, just to sit in and see about the behaviors he had. He was aggressive.
Then more troubling news. Copeland learned that DISD officials had moved the accused student to a neighboring campus at Samuel High School. She says she attended a meeting with district officials about transferring the student and was asked to write a statement about the assault. But again, she says, to her knowledge, no official investigation.
They wasn't paying me no attention. They was just talking amongst themselves about what they were going to do with him. And they asked me what happened, and they kind of like, to me, it was like dismissing of what was I felt and what was actually happening that day to Miss Sims.
And Copeland was not alone. Charla Sims' family, her sister and 2 sons, say they were never contacted.
We never heard from the school. We never got a call from anybody. Not at Spruce, not DISD. We never received a phone call. So most of the information that we've heard came from Miss Leslie, came from you. This is it. This is like hearing the story firsthand, from the call to the hospital, to the cemetery, to the gravesite. This is the most we've heard.
No phone call, no sympathy or empathy card. I mean, nothing. You would think that even if it didn't come from the district themselves, that it would have at least come from the staff and faculty from the school. Nothing.
Spectrum News learned of the assault from a grievance filed by former DISD auditor Andrea Whalen. While investigating alleged attendance fraud at DISD, Whalen says she discovered notes about Sims' assault and subsequent death. Whalen was terminated by DISD in September. She claims it was retaliation for whistleblowing. She says her major audit findings were covered up. Spectrum News' repeated requests for all reports and findings in connection with Sims' death have been denied. It has been 2 years since Charla Sims' death. The family had all but given up trying to learn the truth about what had happened. Now, new hope that the truth will come out and justice will be served.
I believe that it is a way to cover up their negligence, and who knows what other things that they're actually covering up that we don't know about yet.
There needs to be an investigation for the attack itself, then a separate investigation for why it was covered up. Someone needs to be held accountable for my sister's death, for her murder.